So now we are gonna learn how to turn this list of items here into a menu that you can click on to visit the different pages such as this, etc. So first we need to set up a header tag. This doesn't visually change the page, but it's for classifying your data. If a user is seeing your document, they understand it more clear. So we can start it out after before our h1, right after the body tag, and close it after this benefits word. And then inside we add a nav tag. So this tag is basically for making navigation menus. Again, this doesn't make any visual changes, but if we want to do some styling, this tag can help as a selector. And then as we have learned, we can create lists inside of HTML. So I'm just gonna make an unordered list, that's UL. And after the benefits word, I'm just gonna close the UL tag. And then at the top, before the home word, I'm gonna just type in li. I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna paste it to everything. And now we need to put the closing tag in as well. So I'm just gonna type the tag and I'm gonna copy it again and keep pasting it. And now we can save, and let me open up my website. Where is that? Yeah. So now if we open up our website, you can see a list here, but this is not the kind of list we want. Now let's style this list, and in the next part we're also gonna style our whole page completely to make it look so better. So now for now just make this act as a menu. And one more thing, before we make it a menu, as you can see, we have learned how to make links inside of this. So we're just gonna, linking is not only to websites, we can put it to other pages also. So I'm just gonna turn this home tag into a link by putting the, inside the li, I'm just putting this and I'm closing it to the a tag. And now since all of these documents are in the same folder, we can easily link it. So I'm just gonna type ahref and I'm gonna just put equal to and double quotes, and I'm gonna make this to the sports index page. And then now I'm gonna copy this starting attribute first. Oh, sorry. So I'm gonna paste it before everything. And now we need to change everything to their respective file names. So this is cricket. This is soccer. And this one is hockey. And this one is tennis. And remember, if you have renamed your files for something, put in the correct file name, otherwise the links won't work as we need it to. So this one is, sorry, what's the spelling? And then this one is basketball. And this one is benefits. So now since we are done adding the links, we can save it and refresh in our browser, and as you can see, everything becomes a link. But since we have not added the closing tag, everything in the whole page is a link that leads to some random page. So we need to close up everything now. So never forget to close your tags. If you don't close your tags, it's gonna lead to very bad errors like this. So now if we close it and save it and we refresh, if we refresh, only these are the links, and when we click it, since this is only the home page, it remains in this. If you take us to our cricket, it takes us to this cricket page, and for the cricket page and rest of the pages, I've already added the menus. So then let's get started now by first styling the whole thing. So now for the styling, I'm gonna be using external styling. So basically, external styling means we create a CSS style sheet for our thing. So if we don't know how to create a CSS style sheet, it's pretty easy. Just click Ctrl N, that opens a new thing, and file, go to save as, and then it's gonna load, and select your destination and change save as type to cascade style sheet file, and then you can name it whatever you want, but I'm not gonna do that because I already have one style sheet. So styling is pretty simple. So first we need to link the style. So inside the head tag, I'm just gonna one second. And also guys, I'm gonna add in a title. I think it got removed by some problem, but I'm just gonna add it in again. I'm just gonna type in sports and then title closing tag. And now to add styling, external styling, so we can link it to all of our pages basically, so that we don't need to keep styling each page separately. You need to type in the link tag and then space, and then the attribute this time is href again, and since my style sheet is in the same folder again, I'm just gonna type in the name, that's styling.css, and then there are some more attributes that we have to use for this value, and one is type, and that's gonna be style sheet. And one more of this is, not type is gonna be style sheet, rel is gonna be style sheet, and type is gonna be text / css. And now if we close the tag and save and reload, you can't see anything, but just for a test, let's try to change this h1's color. So for styling, we need to use a tag selector. So the h1 tag's name is h1. So I'm just gonna type it in, and then for making the style, we just need to put a curly bracket, and you can type the styles on the same line, but I prefer to hit enter twice, close it, and type in a other curly bracket, and in middle of this we can type the style rules. So basically the way a style rule goes is the property name, then a colon, then the value, then a semicolon. So first for color, we are just gonna type in color, and then colon, and then I'm just gonna type in red for example, and then semicolon, and then if we save it and refresh the page, you can see the heading becomes red. So now we are gonna style these links. So links have main three states that can be styled. So there is a link that is a normal link that hasn't been visited, and one more is a visited, that means it has been visited, and one more is a hover, that means like when you're hovering on a link, if you want any different styling, you can use that property. So for now, so it goes like a colon link, this is the normal style, and if you want to include two selectors in our CSS style, you just put a comma, a space, and continue. So a link is the normal type, and a colon visited, this is for visited links that we have already clicked on. As you can see, the default style is blue for non-visited ones and purple for visited ones. So I'm gonna put the same curly braces, and then I'm gonna change the color here again to red, and sometimes it feels weird to have this underline, so we can just remove it by using a property called text hyphen decoration, and then we can put a colon, and we can just type in none and put a semicolon. So then if we reload and save it, as you can see, nothing has an outline, and whether it's a normal link or it is visited, it's all red. And now there's no hover style by default, so I'm gonna add in one separately. So the style, I'm gonna create a separate style, so it says a hover, and then the curly brace, and inside the curly braces I'm just gonna change the color to brown maybe, and then if we save and refresh, if we hover on our links, it becomes brown, as you can see. So this is basic styling for the links. Now we're gonna do some list styling, and we're gonna make it appear horizontally and give it the whole like menu style that you see in some most famous pages in the world. So now we're gonna add some styling, some more styling. So I'm just gonna type in nav UL. This will select this UL because it's only one inside nav. And then the first property I'm gonna use is called list style type. So this is the thing for lists, and for a menu we don't need any of these dots. I'm just gonna set it to none, and I'm also gonna set the padding to 0. So there are two properties that you need to understand. They are called padding and margin. So padding basically gives space between the edge of the container and the content inside it. So we can use pixels, centimeters, etc. Mostly people use pixel, and margin gives the space from the page edge. Like suppose there's a container this big, and we add the margin suppose 300 pixels, it will get pushed 300 pixels towards this side. Or so there's a shorthand, or there are separate properties for padding right, padding left, etc. We'll make use of these properties more when we make like more content in our page. So now let's add a style for the nav li tag. So now one more style that I'm gonna add is the nav li, and for this I'm gonna put a property called display, and this changes the way the LIs are displayed. I'm gonna make it to inline, and I'm also gonna make it float left. So float is a property that lets you decide where the component sits on the page. So if we change this to like right or something for this code, it will move over to the right side. So for this, I'm gonna keep it to left. So this will make all our list items stack up against each other in a horizontal line. So now if we save and reload, it's gonna be like this. There's no space in center and that makes it bad. And one thing we can do to give a gap between this last one and this port, there's a tag called BR. It just adds a line break, means it gives one line gap. I'm just gonna add in 2 line gap. Then if we save and refresh, there's now plenty gap. Now we need to add some gap between these, and we'll do that now. Along with we'll add some background colors, etc. So let's do it now. So now we are gonna do something super cool that changes the whole thing. So we're gonna select our nav, then the A link, and then we are also gonna add the nav A visited. Visited, and then we are just gonna add a background color first of I think purple will do good. And then I'm gonna add in color of white. And now we're gonna use the display again, but we're gonna this time make it to a block. And again we're gonna use padding. So this time we're gonna type in 10 pixel and 0. So this means the top and bottom will have padding of 10 pixel and the left and right will have 0 pixel padding. And for now this we are gonna type in width is equal to 160 px. But for this width to work, we also need to change something else. So we are gonna type in the body as the selector this time. And then I'm gonna add the width style rule for this also. And I'm gonna make it 960 pixels. So now if we save it and reload this page, you can see there's something like this. And one more thing we can do for this is we can add in a text align of center. So this will align the text to the center, and now you can see it's a bit better. And also for the body, we need to push him over to the center. So what we can do is basically, actually first things first, let's make this so that it comes in one line. So maybe we are gonna increase the body's width to I think 1100 pixel or something. I think we need to make it actually let's put this down to, let's say, 120 pixels. And now everything fits perfectly. And this heading we are gonna align it to center, but before that let's push the body over to the center. So first let's try float and let's put it center. And as you can see, nothing happens. So this time we are gonna make use of our margin property. Since I want to push it away from the left margin, I'm gonna type margin hyphen left, and then we're gonna try to make something like 300 pixels. We need to keep experimenting so until we get the perfect width. I think maybe 250 would do. Yeah, I think this is good. So that's how to make a menu. And now for this H1, we don't want to select the whole thing. So now let's learn how to make IDs so that we can use. So if we put H1, all pages, all H1s in all pages will get affected. So I'm gonna create an ID So we just need to type in space and id is an attribute. So what this will let is, it will let us to create a separate style rule just for this id. So now we're gonna type in something like main heading, and then now we can save this and go back to this. So before making a style rule which uses an id, we need to type in the pound sign, then type the id name, that's main heading, and then now we can change whatever properties we want. I'm gonna change the um, align to center, so this also we can float it to the center, but I doubt that will work. I'm gonna check. See, this doesn't work. So again we need to try pushing it away from the margin like what we did. Margin left, and I'm gonna try of 200 pixels. Actually, let's go for 500 pixels because our body is 1000 pixels wide, so this should be half. Okay, that's not exact half, so I think we'll try 400. Actually, 450 may do better. Yeah, this is best what I can find now. And I think we can stretch this a little bit because the body may end like about here somewhere, because text is stretching up till here. Let's try to make this width a bit more and check whether it works. I'm gonna change it back to 160. No, it doesn't. 150 will work. Let's check. Oh, 150 almost worked. Then 140 must. 130. Okay, I think 130 is the max we can make. So, and now we're gonna learn how to style things separately in the next part. Till then, bye.